This channel's different. It's safe to subscribe because I'm only releasing completed projects, rather than incremental videos. Something I want you to know is that I'm 100% self-taught. I didn't go to school for this, I'm not a professional developer, so if I can do it, you can do it. I'll tell you a little story about how I got started. So my mom wanted to play some D&D, and she got all the kids together, and we played some D&D, and it wasn't long before my little brother and I realized that mom was pretty bad at D&D. And so I made some helper cards for her at the time so she would know what to do, where to go, how to take an action, cast a spell, all that good stuff. That card system became its own game, which I still have in the works. That was right around the time Magic Arena came out, and I spent some time playing Magic Arena. I actually have a little channel. I got to Mythic. It was kind of a fun experience for me, but I realized that the Magic the Gathering experience, particularly in the digital space, wasn't very good. And then I thought, well, why don't I take my card game and put it in the digital space using Unreal Engine? Very ambitious idea. And through that process, I learned that I should start smaller. And so I started with first person. And then I realized I should start even smaller. And then I went to like a side-scroller 2D game. And that's what the first video in this channel is going to be focused on, or the first video series. If you were to make your content in a similar way, where you start smaller and you produce an actual game, even if it's not a game that's your passion, you will learn the engine with a context like you can't emulate anywhere else or doing anything else. And I would also add that you should do this type of stuff because you love it and it's your passion, not for the money. Right? So I'm not trying to make any money doing this. I'm not trying to parlay this into a development career. I'm just trying to learn the engine because I love code. I love development. I love video games. And this has been a really fun experience for me all around. If all you want to do is make landscapes, for example, then give yourself a few sample game projects and just make level after level within the context of your own game. If you make a landscape for a first-person shooter and a landscape for a third-person RPG, they're going to be pretty different, particularly in your foliage densities and what the player can see and like the view distance and certain angles. And doing it within the context of a game will give you that perspective that you can't get anywhere else. So rather than just releasing landscape after landscape, you could make a level focused with a purpose, and then me as a buyer of content, I will be more inclined to buy that if I know it's got some sort of focus behind it. The same goes for particle effects. If you're making particle effects, take lightning, for example. If you're making a lightning effect for like a side-scroller game, it's going to behave differently than if you're making it for a first-person lightning gun that shoots lightning versus a spell in like a third-person game. So I would focus on creating a system around what it is that you're actually trying to do, and that way you know it's going to work. And then you can have, you know, when you release your content package on the marketplace, you know that it's directed towards a certain audience. But do enjoy the channel. Please remember to subscribe, and hopefully you like it.